As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized CIMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a CIMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the CIMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the CIMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact. As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized SEMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a SEMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the SEMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the SEMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact. As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized SEMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a SEMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the SEMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the SEMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Revolution to where we are at today. We are talking about Internet of Things. We are talking about renewable energy. So with all this, there are a lot of opportunities for business world. The business ecosystem is so large. Everybody is trying to play catch up and fit into the space. Now, as an accountant, it is very important we know what the cyberspace is talking about. See, as an accountant or as an auditor, coupled with my experience in the private sector and the public sector, I believe I have worked as an IT auditor, I've worked as a system auditor, and I've gathered a lot of experience from that control perspective. As an accountant, we have a lot of ethical role, we have a lot of professional behavioral role to play in the digital space. Now we talk about business processes. Our business processes is under our custodian, and we are expected to play a strategic and leadership role. What is cybersecurity, as I've rightly said? We always say that the rise of transformative technology, such as sophisticated information technology, robotic processes, blockchain, artificial intelligence, automation, and machine learning are undoubtedly raise concerns among accountants. Cybersecurity has become a top concern for board of directors, for business owners, because the level of risk and exposures of businesses unbelievable. So as accountants and as a control expert, we're expected to play a leading role in that space. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity can be defined as the process or the practice of protecting information assets, ranging from your application on the system, your mobile devices, your corporate and individual network, and all other relative or related information assets that is used by employees and the organization as a whole.
Thank you so much for that definition. And it's actually quite precise. We must learn to protect all the information assets that we have under our purview, both as accountants and as auditors. We are charged to do this. In the same vein, would you like to explain how cybersecurity affects businesses and individuals?
Thank you very much for that lovely question, Mr. Balogun. Statistics has shown that throughout the world, we are heavily exposed, both individually and corporate-wise. According to our national dailies last year, Nigeria's cybercrime rose by 174%. Within 6 months, individuals were affected, business organizations were also affected. I can tell you confidently, sir, and my audience, that it's only 5% of corporate files and individual records that are protected. What happened to the rest 95%? They are heavily exposed. So that shows that there are vulnerabilities, and we have threat outside there. We have threat actors that can leverage on the vulnerabilities that we have already. And I can also tell you confidently that 68% of business owners, they believe they are not secure. The statistics are out there. 68% of business owners, they believe they are not secure. Do you know that, according to record, we have billions of data that is being gathered every second, every minute? I can tell you confidently that we have 2.9 record that is being created in Facebook activities, the personal identifiable information of users of such platform. What about e-commerce? simple truth. So let's talk about the cyber attack. So we have the malware, we have phishing, we have man-in-the-middle attack, we have DOS that we call DOS. That's distribution. That's a denial of service. So it can also be called DDoS. That's distributed denial of service. We also have what we call the mal-advertising. That's advertisingware. We now have the ransomware. So we have lots of that. But not to bore you with all this. Let's talk about the malware. Malware is a short cut for malicious software. There is no application that can run without any software being embedded on it. So we have crime. We have people that have malicious acts that we call threat actors that install malicious software on your system just to hijack your system, retrieve sensitive information, or damage your system. That's what they want to do. So cyber attack is done either for financial gain or non-financial gain. It can be to damage the integrity of the organization. So we're highly exposed. So we talk about phishing. So phishing is all about social engineering. People try to be nice to you. Under phishing, that's where we have vishing, we have smishing. People will send a mail to an organization, especially the accountant. And that's where we need to be very careful. Accountant needs to be very careful and read between the lines. Who is sending the mail to you? Is it your trusted vendor? Somebody that is on your vendor list, or somebody that is on your vendor list is sending a mail to you, and you're not taking your time to look at it. And invoice is sent to you that have been manipulated. So people can, for example, if you have a particular organization like ABC Limited, an invoice can be sent by ABC Nigeria Limited. You understand? So if you don't pay attention to this, you just fuck your.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. I hope you can all hear me. It's good to be on this platform this very evening. I'm sure the organizers have quite a lot of reasons why this session is starting a little bit late, but you can be rest assured that the gains and the benefits of joining this session will still be well achieved within time. The subject matter of our conversation this very evening is to equip all of us as professionals with skills that will make us to continue to remain relevant in our field and to be relevant as leaders globally. We need to take note of some of the skills that will make us to be able to make valuable impact that everybody will know in our organization, in our community, in our society, that we are professionals. So as professionals, there are quite a lot of skills that we need to embrace. But as finance leader, there are some core key skills that you need to demonstrate at all times. I'll be sharing with us this evening basically 5 key skills. What are these 5 key skills? And it would be nice if I actually have access to the chat room because I know I have quite a lot of finance leader on this platform. So it would be nice that I'm able to share thoughts with them. I think I have about 4 comments. Okay, great. I have quite a lot of people logging in from different parts of the world. So basically, I'll be talking about 5 key skills, and maybe in subsequent editions we will have reasons to discuss more additional professional skills. But the first one I want us to emphasize on is communication skill. As finance leader, as professional, we need to work on our communication skill. We need to be able to use the right tone at all times to pass our message across. We need to be able to understand our audience in a way and manner that whatever information we are passing across will meet the required objective. So, as a professional, it is important that we pay particular attention in the way we express or communicate whatever information we are trying to pass across. And when we are talking about communication, beyond just oral communication, you need to also think about how you write, how you appear, the way you go about, passing, message across. So it is important as professionals to lay emphasis on using the right tone, dealing with your audience in the right manner, and presenting the information to them in the best way that will allow the information to be effective. And then both you, the presenter, and the audience on the other side, they are able to understand exactly what you're trying to do. So it's important that we develop our communication skill. The number 2 skill I'll be talking about is commercial acumen. As a finance leader, beyond just the ability to communicate well, we need to be able to demonstrate that we are aware of what is happening around us. We need to be commercially aware. We need to be able to show insight into whatever area that we find ourselves. And beyond that, we must be able to use the right judgment in any particular scenario or case that we have to deal with. So as a finance professional, you need to be able to demonstrate commercial acumen. So that will be number 2 skill. When we talk about commercial acumen, you find yourself in the aviation industry, you find yourself in telecom industry, you find yourself in manufacturing or a service business. How well are you aware of your environment? As a professional, you need to show interest in understanding what is your internal environment and what is your external environment. Who are the key players in your environment? How do I manage each of the stakeholders within the environment so that when I'm taking decision or I'm taking any action, I'm able to take my environment into consideration? I'll be demonstrating awareness. I'll be showing insight, and I'll be using it to make good judgment in terms of decision making. So as a professional, as a finance leader, we need to get our communication skill right, and we need to be able to demonstrate commercial acumen. I think I have some additional comments. Okay, great. So it's just a comment, it's not a question. Now let's go on to look at the 3rd skill that is important for us to demonstrate as a professional and as a finance leader. We need to be able to demonstrate what is called analytical skill. Our level of analysis must be such that we must back it with fact. We are not going to join people to just generalize information and just talk about things without first of all investigating. Make sure that you get the right information and ensure that you back that analysis with fact. You are able to show a trend. You are able to show more or less a form of comparison before you go ahead and consider any information. So our analytical skill needs to be very, top-notch at all times. Any finance leader or a very good professional must be able to demonstrate analytical skill at any point in time. So if you look at the first one we consider, which was communication, from communication we start talking about commercial what? Acumen. And from commercial acumen, now I'm talking about analytical what? Analytical skill. And one key point I need you to note in demonstrating analytical skill is that any information or anything you are trying to analyze, try as much as possible to first of all investigate, inquire before you consider such an information for analysis what purpose. We must be able to back our analysis with fact, and we need to be able to show some level of comparison and show some trend analysis in the course of what? Analyzing. So one of the key things that will be expected of us and skill we need to demonstrate for us to continue to remain relevant for the future is analytical what? Analytical what? Skill. I promise that I'll be sharing about 5 major skills. Out of that 5, I've been able to share 3 with you, which is communication. Second one is commercial acumen. Number 3 is analytical what? Analytical skill. Number 4 skill that we need to demonstrate as professional is what is called skepticism. Skepticism. How well are you able to demonstrate skepticism? What do you even understand by what skepticism? Now, professional skepticism is expected of every professional and finance leader to want to probe, to want to question, to want to challenge any information that you are going to what? You are not just going to accept any information without knowing what is the fact behind the figure. You need to be able to probe, you need to be able to question, you need to be able to what? To challenge. Quite a lot of finance leader, be it that you practice form of internal audit or you practice financial reporting, or you're a tax consultant, or you're a business advisor, at any point in time, you need to be able to query the kind of information you are using. You need to be able to demonstrate some level of skepticism. You don't just take figures or take information and just accept it without trying to probe or challenge or question. Okay, so it is important as professional that we need to be able to demonstrate this very skill. This is a skill whereby as much as you want to challenge, you have to also be cautious in doing it. You don't use skepticism to bring anybody down or make somebody looks like, oh, they don't know exactly what they are saying. Rather, you are doing it with a lot of cautious. You are being cautious about the way you go about it. Okay, you said the growth is 10% or you said the growth is 15%. Can you provide justification why the growth is 10%? What are the factors or what are the indicators that made the growth to be what? To be 10%. Now, as a professional, we don't have to just take any information in without us being able to ask questions, without us being able to challenge, or without us being able to what? To probe, to be able to know the fact behind the what? Behind the figure. So I've shared with you 4 key skills now. Number 1, I made mention of communication skill. Number 2, I made mention of commercial what? Acumen. Number 3, I started talking about analytical skill. And number 4, I mentioned professional what? Skepticism. Now, the 5th one, which I decided to make the number 5, is what is called evaluation what? Skill. Evaluation skill. As a professional, as a finance leader, it is important you are able to demonstrate evaluation skill at all times. You need to be able to take any scenario and identify the risk and the benefit, the good and the bad. You need to be able to show the pros and the cons. We don't just go into conversation and we are just one-sided about it, or we are just talking about one particular opinion. It's all about good, without showing what are the limitations, what are the other side effects. We need to balance our conversation from time to time. We need to be able to show both sides. And most especially when, as a professional, you are trying to advise the board, you are trying to advise, different levels of management, and you are trying to make a justification. We need to be able to balance whatever we are presenting. So this skill is very critical for finance leader and professional at all times to be able to demonstrate good evaluations skill. We need to be able to assess, appraise, and estimate things in the way and manner that we can allow the audience to easily be able to make an opinion at the end of the day based on what we are able to present in front of them. Not like we just present information only from one side view. Rather, we present the information in a way and manner that we give a balanced view of things. We show the pros, we show the cons, we show the risk, we show the benefit. We show what are the costs associated and possible return that will be generated. So if you look at what we have discussed so far, as professionals, we need to be able to demonstrate 5 key skills. And like I mentioned, subsequently, we will be talking about more other skills, but for this evening, we'll be focusing on these 5 main skills. 1 is communication. How well do you communicate? When communicating, how well do you take an information and present it in a way and manner that you can persuade your audience? How well are you able to inform your audience? How well are you able to provide clarification in the way you present information? Avoid as much as possible too much ambiguity in the way you communicate. We need to ensure this. Communication is key for us. For every professional, we need to be able to communicate well. We need to be able to pass our message across in a way and manner that our audience will understand the exact message that we are trying to pass across. I would like to take questions as I've highlighted 5 key skills that we need to be able to demonstrate. Okay, somebody says, please highlight the required professional skill that a finance leader should possess to be successful. I've just shared with you 5 key skills. Okay, do I have any other question? So it's a good time for you to ask questions, and then I'll be glad to answer you. Okay, between 2 concepts, I didn't get the question. Given your responses so far, it suggests that financial management and financial leadership doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. Could you please educate our viewers on major distinction? Okay. Okay, financial management and financial leadership. Okay, now, if I'm to take on that question very quickly, we need to understand that every professional, be it an accountant or not being an accountant, even a medical doctor or engineer, have some element of being able to manage finance in one way or the other, because we are all the bottom line or the output of any business, it has to come back to numbers. And so doctors have their own way of managing their finance. Engineers also understand some language of finance. But when you talk about, accounting in a way and manner, for you to be a strategic leader, beyond just, talking about finance, you are all-rounded. You are good with strategic planning. You are good with forecasting. You are good with strategy. You are a more robust way of looking at things. And then when you talk about leadership, you are able to lead with quite a lot of innovation. You are able to lead by giving more room for being proactive as against being reactive. So there are quite a whole lot of sides to leadership. And when it comes to financial leadership, finance leader, as finance professional, be it that you specialize in financial reporting or tax or management accounting, or you're a consultant from the finance point of view, or you are into raising finance or capital, or you're an investment banker. Everybody has some element of being able to demonstrate some level of leadership in their area of interest. Somebody else also asks, evaluation skill is quite important. I think that was the last skill that I made mention of. The first one was communication skill. Number 2 was commercial acumen. And then number 3, I started talking about analytical skill. So as finance professional, we need to be able to communicate well. We need to be able to demonstrate commercial acumen, and we need to be able to analyze properly. Analyze with, by getting the right information, getting the right facts before we go ahead to use it for analysis purpose, before we consider such information. And number 4 skill that is also required of finance professional is to demonstrate what is called skepticism, professional skepticism, ability to probe, ability to question, ability to challenge before we go ahead and take any fact in. I'm sure with what is going on in our economy today, quite a lot of data are being pulled here, left, right. Inflation rate, NPR has increased. This is happening. We need to know what are the facts behind this figure. We need to be able to put, some, information around it. What is the data gathering process like? What is, before we go ahead and consider any information, what have been taken into consideration? We should challenge any form of information before we just accept it. Okay, because your boss have said it is 10% growth. How did we come about the 10%? What are the factors that resulted into the 10%? So it's important that we consider information before we use such information. We need to be able to probe, we need to be able to question, we need to be able to challenge any information before we consider it for use. Okay, and then number 5 was evaluation skill. Olalusi Sanusi says financial leader should be skeptical, professionally, and good evaluation skill. And how can communication gap be effectively managed between top management? Okay, now that's a very good question. It's important to note that the type of leadership approach that you adopt goes a long way to determine how you manage communication. Are you a transformational leader or are you a transactional leader? What I've seen happen in most scenarios around are mostly transactional leaders who are short-term focused, who want to rule or lead by rules, by micromanaging, and that's why you are not getting communication right, or you are not getting the kind of feedback that is expected. However, if you operate as a transformational leader who is going to give more of your audience ability to be innovative, ability to add their own idea, ability for them to easily come to you to suggest things, then your communication, you'll be able to bridge communication gap if you give your followers opportunity to also hear their views, and you also acknowledge their views, and very well, it will encourage them to always want to add more, and your leadership style will produce much more better result than being just a transactional leader. Okay, the skill sets you have made mention are interwoven like a Venn diagram. They are all necessary to make a total finance plan. Fantastic. That is a very good, summary of what I've actually discussed. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so do I have any additional question? I have from Makodi. Okay, good. I don't think there's any additional question. Okay. Let me share. So please let me share this with you on a final note. Try to walk around this as a guide. On communication, ensure that at any point in time you are trying to communicate, you are trying to inform your audience, persuading them, and making sure that the information you are trying to pass across is very clear. Bring about clarity in your communication. Avoid any form of ambiguity. Try as much as possible not to use too much grammar or trying to write too much long sentences. Make it simple as much as possible and be straight to the point. Go ahead and communicate the actual reason why you are doing what you are doing. And remember, depending on the type of audience, whether you are discussing with a board, you need to be precise and in an executive summary format. If you're talking to your subordinates, there are ways you have to be able to pass the message across for your subordinate to be able to get the information in the right way. So communication, watch out, make sure that you inform, make sure that the information is persuasive, you are able to use it to persuade the audience so that they can understand what you're trying to do, and try to be very clear in the way you pass the information across. Number two, which is commercial acumen, demonstrate awareness. You must be interested as a professional. You must be interested in what is happening in your internal and external environment. You need to be able to show awareness. You know how it works. Things work within the environment. You need to know who are the key stakeholders within your environment. What is their power of influence? What kind of stakeholders are they? What kind of power do they have? And what kind of influence do they have within your environment? You must be able to use your commercial acumen to take the best judgment, to take the right decision, a sustainable decision, at any point in time. And you must show insight. You must be able to give an outlook, being able to see to the nearest future what are the possibilities, what are the things that are likely to happen, because you are knowledgeable, you are aware of your environment. And then the third one I made mention was an analytical skill. And for you to analyze well, you need to investigate, get the fact, know what exactly that information is all about, inquire, find out details. The source of your information that you want to use for analysis is very, very critical before you consider such information. And then I went on to talk about skepticism. And in skepticism, watch out for three things. You need to probe, question, and challenge any information before you put them to use at any point in time. They give you a figure, you need to be able to know the fact behind it. You need to be able to ask questions, not a professional that anything you give, you just accept. You need to be able to demonstrate some level of skepticism, ability to want to ask questions, probe, and challenge before you accept anything. And then finally, I talked about evaluation skill. That skills that allow you to balance whatever conversation you have, showing the good and the bad, making sure you're able to show the pros and the cons. You are able to manage, any form of information that you are sharing with your audience in a way and manner that is not, you are objective in the way you put it across. So try to assess, estimate, and appraise before, you don't just discuss skewing towards one side. You need to show the good and the bad. You need to show the pros and the one and the cons. So I think that's all I'll be sharing with you this evening, except you have any particular question. Sir, there is a difference between efficient and effective leader. Okay, so from the school of thought of management, I'm sure there's a point where you are trying to show who is effective and who is efficient. Efficient, you measure efficiency based on output in terms of, okay, he's able to deliver this number, but how effective in what is being delivered is very important. That that for you to be an effective leader, quality matters for you to be very effective. You can finish something on time, you can be able to deliver things on time, but how effective or how good is what you have been able to deliver? To what extent is efficiency and effectiveness of finance leader affected by boardroom politics in corporate world setting? Now, if you look at your role as a finance leader, I see you to be a transformational leader, a leader who is proactive, a leader who is trying to set a new standard, a leader who wants to do things differently, a leader who is going to set a new pace for things to happen. So when issue of politics comes in, where a transactional leader stops is where a transformational leader is somebody who is more futuristic, is somebody who is not going to be working by rules, who is going to create new ways of getting things done. So you see beyond politics. You are more value adding oriented. You are more long-term focused than short-term focus. You are trying to build other leaders as a transformational leader. Could you please run on global viewers through the responsibilities of a finance leader? Now, I will want to take this responsibility from this perspective of you being able to be an ethical leader, somebody who everybody is going to be seen to be an example that they can follow. You need to also be seen as somebody who is responsible for organizing and planning and making sure that things happen in the way they should happen. You are also seen to be one of that key people who should be in the forefront of identifying what can go wrong in terms of risk management for an organization. You are also that kind of person that is being seen to be that kind of person that is that is trying to ensure that the bottom line of the organization is being improved from time to time. So you are conscious about the kind of decision the organization takes in terms of investment and in terms of operational wise, making sure that bottom line is being protected. Beyond that, you are also a regulatory leader as a finance leader. You need to be in the forefront of decisions around how we handle compliance, how we handle regulatory issues, how we handle risk issues, how we handle issues around strategic decision, and how we take majorly investment or decision around the organization. Somebody says, as a career coach and a very experienced finance leader, could you please educate our global viewers on the moral requirements of a finance leader? Now, this speaks more to your core values as a finance leader. There's as an individual, your company has a core value, but how more core values have you defined for yourself to say this is what is going to guide the way I'm going to do things? One of the key core values is you being able to demonstrate what is called integrity. Integrity should be your first major watchword. And, according to Forbes define integrity as that thing, it says success will come and go, but integrity is forever. That was the way Forbes, tried to analyze what integrity is all about. That integrity is that thing that, whether you are there or you are not there, it will continue to count and stands for you. So number one, moral, you need to demonstrate from time to time is integrity. Number two, you need to be objective. You need to be objective, in the way you go about things. Don't just do things because you just have to do it. You have to be objective. There have to be a reason why you are doing what you are doing. And beyond that, you need to also be very honest in the way you go about things. You need to be truthful in the way you go about things. And at every point in time, you must be able to demonstrate a whole lot of ability to want to do things in a way and manner that people will be able to trust you to be able to get things done without having any doubts that you will not do it exactly the way it's expected of you. So it's important. Integrity is key for you. Integrity is key. Professionalism is key for you. Objectivity is very, very key. You need to also be independent. You need to be seen to be independent, in the way you go about expressing your views, your opinions, and you are very objective in the way you do things. When we hear about the liquidation of corporate organization or the collapse of economies of nation, does it mean that finance leaders have abdicated their responsibility? No, it doesn't mean that finance leaders have abdicated their responsibility. Basically, what you have seen is that when we talk about leader, finance leader plays their role. They make information available. They try to prompt and want to let you know that this is where you can go wrong or where things are going wrong. Quite a whole lot of other factors might make the role of finance leader not to be so seen or being, but a whole lot of work is going on behind, and a whole lot of, most of this advice, some are taken on board and implemented immediately, and some are not being implemented. And that's why whatever you've seen happen out there doesn't mean that finance leaders are not playing their role. They are making those pronouncements, they are suggesting those policies, they are getting involved in strategy. Finance leader role has moved beyond just dealing only with finance issues. Finance leaders are now involved in risk management issues. They are now involved more in strategy, and they are now seen as a strategic business leader. They are one of the people in the forefront in running businesses. ICAN is always open to ideas that will be positively advance the growth of our members and the accountancy profession and Nigerian business environment. Please, what is your advice or suggestion to ICAN on further discourse on developing the right skill set for finance leader? One of the key things I would desire that ICAN is able to do differently is to upgrade the curriculum in this way and manner to ensure that in each of the subjects that you need to pass to qualify, you need to be able to demonstrate some basic professional skills, and marks should be allocated in the exam purposely for you demonstrating skills. It's important that it should be embedded in the curriculum as part of the things that you must demonstrate when you are presenting information, when you are doing that exam. And the exam should be conducted in a way and manner that you are allowed to express those skills in the course of doing it. A whole lot of work has been done on the case study side, which allows you to demonstrate some of the certain skill, but this needs to cut across every of the professional papers across board, demonstrating an element of these professional skills in the way the curriculum is being designed. That would be my submission. Thank you. Okay, I think that is the final question. I've just taken the final question on suggestion to ICAN. Thank you very much.